Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Tom Misery. You're watching my channel, Mr. 14, and I'm here doing a review of Queen Sugar Season 4, Episode 8. Alright, this is another emotional, heavy episode. Queen Sugar always been like the kind of like a emotional driven storyline, so it's dark and heavy. Has some happy moments, but also got some very lot of sad moments and stuff. And this episode was anything short of it. It was mostly a lot of emotions running high and things going on, and it's just a lot. I was sitting here watching the episode, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, can we get some light at the end of the tunnel, y'all? Because this is I can't deal with this emotional heaviness going on, so like that." And then Greenleaf is coming back on September, and not gonna be another roller coaster. So, all right, y'all, let's go. All right, so Charlie and Micah is at the mills. You know, Charlie got the phone call last week that her mill got burned up. So she's there. Micah, Charlie is looking like she looked very defeated. That her mill that she was so happy about, it just burned up the crypts. And it's like smoke everywhere. Fire department's there getting the things together, but all you see is smoke. All you see is smoke. So the fire marshals are over there just trying to get together, trying to figure out the source and stuff. But Kiki saw Micah and she ran. She said, Micah, Micah, all that stuff. And she hugged him like she was so happy that he's still alive, that she thought that he was in that mill. I said, what about if he was in the mill, he got burned out? She was just so worried about how things going. Maybe that she realized that freaking upset she had with Micah was pointless. Or it's matter that she still loves him and she still like want to be with him. So that was that. At the same time, Nova found out and she came rushing. But Charlie and Ralph is not here for Nova. So they gave her the cold shoulder. And just looked at her, gave her a dirty look and just kept walking. It's like, turned back around. They wasn't thinking about Nova. And she said, I heard and everything. And I came as fast as I can to make sure y'all was okay. But at least she did came to see they was okay, alright? Because it would be fucked up if she didn't come at all. But even though they not talking to you or not, but at least he still came to show your face. So I give you props for that, Noah. Alright, but that was that. So basically the fire marshal came and said that, listen, based on these evidence I see, it's a classic sign of arsonist. So basically somebody intentionally burned your thing. It was no accidental fire. It was nothing like that. It was no electrical faultness, something like that. Somebody intentionally burned your thing down. So it was like now she realized that somebody really want to hurt her. So she right now she thinking it's the Landry, the Bourdalones, the Boudreaux, and the Landrys that's behind this. So I was like, oh snap, behind it. So basically it's like okay, now she's like, damn, it's arsonist. So she got to figure out what the hell is going on. So her about Angel was about to leave and said, let's go, let's got to do something. And Nova said, please Charlie, don't do anything so you can do anything. You should be let's think about this, let's talk about this, don't do anything rash. And she said, you the last person who should be telling me to do anything rash. I said, yes, right, Nova, yes, you should be the last person because your rash decision of putting that book out there and then telling your family that you put their business out there and like that. That's fucking rash. So you can't be telling them what to do rash when you did the rash decision yourself. Alright, boom. So they went to see Francis. Cause Charlie having her mind that the Landrys and the Boudreaux is behind this shit. So Charlie went to Francis and confronted Francis and then going back and forth, back and forth. Francis said, oh, you so good to nothing, you so ungrateful, all that stuff like that. They going back and forth. She said, good luck, see your true feelings. And Francis said, listen, I was behind this, but I gladly did because it teach you a lesson and stuff. And Charlie said you've been irrelevant and stuff like that. It's an art of war. So they was basically going back and forth. I was talking about things that we just all of war. We go tit for tat and all that stuff, and it's thing. You're not gonna win, Charlie. It's okay or stuff. So So Charlie said she always feels sorry for Frances because Frances tried to prove herself to the dominating family, and she's just stay gonna be short end of the stick. You're a pitiful woman. So I was like, oh. But at the end of the day, Charlie went in the car, and Ralph Angel recorded Sorry, y'all. The conversation between Charlie and Francis. Francis didn't admit to anything, but maybe she probably do know something behind what's going on, or was a part of it, or something like that. But she said she was never involved. She wasn't involved in burning down Charlie's mill. But we'll see if it is a connection, or somebody in her past made that connection, or whatever. So we'll see about that. All right. So Charlie's trying to figure out a lot of things. Now, meanwhile, Ralph Angel at the thing, Disha, and I keep calling her Desha, but her name is Disha. Disha and Ralph Angel was talking, and Disha was telling Ralph Angel he needs to prepare for this board to make sure we get everything together. It's only like a couple minutes, 30 minutes or so. We gotta get a impression and talk to them on thing. Darla been calling Ralph Angel a lot. I said, come on, Darla, you calling him too much. Like, what do you really want? All right? Call your sponsor, like Ralph says. Call somebody else, but you keep calling Ralph Angel too much. Ralph Angel got his life. Right? If it's not about Blue, why you keep calling him? But I understand that she's a fragile state of mind right now. She about to break down. So she called Ralph Angel because that's the only person who be there for her and can probably calm him down. But he wasn't picking up. She found out about the mill on the news, so she rushed down there. She drove down there. He picked up the phone, so she rushed down there. I said, "Damn, daughter, what the hell?" But I understand daughter is concerned because, listen, it's the mill, it's a family mill. He could have been in there and stuff like that. So she wanted to come and see how he's doing. He said, "How's everyone doing? How's you?" She said, "Okay, cool." Ralph Angel introduced Desha to Darla, and Darla looked at Desha like, "Okay." I would say, "Oh, you got no right to be upset. You got no right to be envy, girl, or jealous, whatever you want to do." So Desha said, "Oh, I don't think I'm about to go," because he said, "No, you good." And so he said, "Everything's going good," and she said, "Okay, let me go." So Ralph enters at the board, and basically they was giving him a hard time because he was spending his board, and he said all that stuff. He knew this was disappoint his father, and blamed after his father to do this and all that stuff. The vision, his goals with the farm. He said that's all sounding nice to go, but we still got to do a proper investigation because this figure arrest of one of your workers. And Desha was telling about how the rest was so faulty and stuff like that. It shouts some doubts to the rest itself and how they're going. He said everything might be fine and dandy, but we do have another issues at hand. He said, what is the other issue? At the end of the day, y'all was investigating because of this arrest, but now it's another issue. They found out that his sister mill got burned, and realized that part of his cane that he was using is from the mill. That's manufactured from the mill. He said, yes, I had to do some of the stuff before the mill happened. Then the mill came, it was funded a lot of other stuff. But 80% of my thing was before the mill ever built up. But she was saying that, but the mill could affect your farm because now that the burner, you gonna have your losses. So Ralph Angel said it ain't gonna affect me, my business that much, and the rest will be tight, but it's not gonna affect too much. And they said, well, the workers is expecting 40 hours a week. How you gonna be able to pay them and stuff like that? Or two, we figured out decide like that. We give you a decision next week. I said, oh, y'all is too much. So Ralph Angel just felt defeated about that. So he had to tell his workers that he had to let them go. He can't be able to keep them around because money is tight. He wanted them to keep them, but it's a done deal. And at the same time, Charlie had a meeting with some of the farm workers, and they was upset about that because it's like, listen, your thing got burned down. How we gonna pay our people? We don't got enough thing, all that stuff like that. We can't keep work going. So this is gonna be ridiculous. So a lot of them got to the left. And Charlie was trying to say this is a temporary setback. He said, temporary setback? You got the thing burned down, sweetie. It's not temporary setback. I'll say, So they are done. So Prosper told us, like, listen, I'll talk to them, but it's gonna take some time. So that was that. Alright, so Nova did went to see what this Aunt Vi place. I said, didn't Aunt Vi told you not to go to a restaurant again, not to step your foot inside that restaurant? You testing it. But Aunt Vi wasn't there, so lucky for Nova, she wasn't there. Prosper was there. And Prosper sat down and talked to Nova and stuff like that, and basically said the family started talking to her. It's a lot, and she is hurting her. But she said, I want to talk to you about something in your book that you wrote about the earnings, about burying his stuff. Nova thinking that her father buried one of the guys, or the guys that she was trying to rape her in the thing, and never been since then, because she never seen the guys after she seen that. I never heard from him again. So she thinking that he buried somebody. But Prosper told Nova the truth. He said no, he did not bury anybody in the thing. What he did, he buried the pain in the bloody clothes he had on, because he went back to what he used to be doing in the war, is trained to kill. So when he know about this guy trying to come after you, he was took to them back to the war zone that he had to fight and defend his daughter against his predators. So he beat them up and stuff like that until after that, until the bloody Pope. I guess Ralph Angel was crying, something like that, or because the mother was singing, she had a voice, an angel, or something like that. He went to the high side. Then when he came back, he had a conscience again. And then he took the guys and took them to the hospital, and then he came back. So nobody said, I saw him. So that what he was burying his clothes, he was burying his pain, he was burying anger, so he could push that away, so he won't go back to that person he was before. So that's what it was, the reason, that's what he buried. And he buried that deeper down so he won't be reminded of his old self, and he wanted to start fresh. So that's the truth behind that burying. Alright? So Nova got that insight. At the same time, Aunt Vi called freaking Hollywood. Hollywood came, he came fast as he can, and it was like, oh my gosh. So I was so happy to see them together. I was so happy to see Hollywood. So Hollywood, when he came and he ran to see his woman, I was like, oh, see, that's a man. That is a man. She called, he went right back. And they said everything's okay. He said she's happy to see him and glad you home. He said, do anything. You want me to do anything? And she said, like, listen, I got a family together. We gotta have a dinner, sit down, let's pray together, let's be together and support each other right now in time of need. Good. So everybody was there. Disha, Ralph, Charlie, Vine, and Hollywood, and Micah. And basically Disha was saying, listen, yes, I got the recording, it's good, but she didn't flat agree or confess to this thing. So it won't hold up too much in the court with that taping. So what we need to figure out is a confession or something like that, or some sort of her involvement in her past. So what about her past that she could be involved, that tied into the tent that she's working with someone to burn Jamil. So if you can figure that out, then you have a cut case. So Charlie would say, I know this is this and this is that, this is that. And Charlie would try so frantically to solve the issue. They say, listen, you must stress yourself out. You just got your meal burned within less than 24 hours. It's okay. You don't have to solve everything right now. It's going to take time. So they sat down, they hold hands, and they prayed. Alright, so at Nova's house, Nova is home in her house, and Komadra, I forgot, Nova came to the thing because Michael told Nova about what happened. So that's where she rushed. Because Michael, Nova is still communication. So I said, cool. Alright, so she's in the house, and she called Calvin, and Calvin said, hey, beautiful. I said, hey, what you doing? He's somewhere around. And he said, what you at home? And she said, so the family. And it's like, the family look at me like I'm not even the freaking, because she was like, she looked like that as a family or stuff, and I think I lost my family. And she started breaking down, and I feel kind of bad for Nova, because I was like, damn, you had your family, and then it sucks to have all your family turn your back on you. Now you feel like you're alone and you got nobody supporting you. But at the same time, Nova, is your fault. You did this. If you never did that to your family and then put their business out there, I don't think all these changes, sequence of events would have been happening to them. It seemed like that sequence of stuff you exposed in the book, people reading that book, and it's coming after them one by one and breaking each one of them down because you put it out there of their secrets, of their things about stuff, to what's going on. So basically a lot of stuff that could be exposed. So it's affecting each one of them in a different light. All because she put out this damn book. And that book is a curse to her family. So she realized that she may have lost her family. And he said, don't say that, all that stuff. And it come around, and he trying to encourage her. And she said, he said, they family. He said, you family too. And she was like, they didn't even look at me like that. They look at me, I'm like I'm straight, and no, not even straight. They look at me, I'm the enemy. And I think I just lost my family. And it just cried. She just broke down crying. And I felt for her. Because you got isolated by your whole family. And I know that hurts. But you should think about your actions, Nova. That's the issue. You should have thought about your actions before you put it out there. And didn't say anything either. So, and then you try and justify why you're putting it out there instead of realize that you was freaking wrong for doing that. So that was that. So Calvin said, where you at? She said, home. He gonna come. And he basically definitely did. So he came to the thing, and he said, we'll talk nothing about us, we'll talk about you. And then Micah came Micah came afterward. He gave her the keys. And he saw Calvin. And he handshake Calvin. And realized he was white. And he excused himself. And Nova said, Nova know Micah had something to say. So he says, lay it out me. Say, I know you got something to say. He said, whatever you do is your business. He said, yeah, but I know you got something to say. He said, is it weird being with a white cop? She said, no, it's okay. I met him before and stuff like that. I know him. And he said, do you really know him? He was a cop. Yeah, right? So did you know that he used, did you ask him, or do you know he just like Austin? He said, no, he's a good guy. He would never do anything like Austin did to. He would never beat up people or stuff like that. Just to serve his needs or purpose. He said, oh, well, okay, if that's the case, you don't know too much. But do you know he had been around people who have been doing this? And so if that's the case, why you be with someone who is okay with someone beating up black people? And he was a cop himself. So right now, Michael don't really care about cops. So seeing him with the white cop, he had his traumatic experience with a white cop. He's not here for all these white cops. So he grouped them all together. He said, do you know he might be doing this? Or do you know he was involved with people who have done that and been okay with it? So nobody had nothing to say because she didn't really talk to him about all that stuff. So he had a problem with that. So he walked out. So Nova talked to Calvin, and basically he said, no, he never put his hands on anyone, who never beat up anyone for justifies his cause. But he have seen partners and colleagues who have done it, and he's seen it and didn't say anything about it. He looked away. He looked the other way. And he did apologize. He admit that he had done it. He said he was a coward. He felt like he was a coward because he didn't stand up for his rights, and he didn't stand up against the people. So he looked away. He ran. And now he just, something in the past that he just angered himself over because he couldn't speak up. And he was too afraid to challenge, basically. And he said, the past. He said, yeah, the past will make me the better person, man, as now. I said, okay, that's cool. So Kiki and Micah is in the car talking, and Kiki was like, I worry about you. I could have lost you and stuff like that. He said, you didn't lose me, all that stuff. And every time she was saying, he kept repeating, he kept saying, interjecting. She said, can you let me talk? All right. But she was like, I think we need to talk about prom night. He said, oh, okay, cool. So I'm going to get a tux. We need to get a tuxedo. She said, no. I'm not talking about that. I think we need to have a talk about what we're going to do at prom night, after the prom. I said, oh, okay, Kiki. But she was like, before, she said she loves him. And he said, because she was trying to get it out, but she didn't really say she get it out. He said, oh, I love you too. And she smiled because he knew that's what she wanted to say. But then she said, I think it's ready so you can have that talk of what we're going to do at the prom night. So he thinking it's going to be just a tux, the dances, or getting this thing. He said, no, I want to talk about what we're going to do at nighttime. I said, oh, okay. So you trying to tell him that you are ready to give him some. That's what you're saying. And I said, oh, okay. Hope y'all both had that talk and protect yourself and all that stuff like that. Because we know y'all older, y'all start making adults, y'all going to make the decisions, and sex going to come. So we'll see about how that transpired with them. I said, oh, Kiki, okay, I think you're ready for your Micah. Okay. Mm. So, Disha and Ralph Angel was talking, and basically they was going back and forth. You know, Ralph Angel felt so bummed out because he had to leave his farmers. He had to let go of his farmers, and she said, "I know it's a tough time right now, but you just gotta keep your head up and keep moving forward. It will get better." And he basically was saying that you got everything handed to you. You are good. Some people have a straight good path, while other people is struggling and curse. And she said no. When while we were dry, she was 6 months old, something like that. The father left, and now she realized she had to fence for everything, all that stuff, and she had an opportunity that depends on her, depending on the bar. But right now, she was so going on so much, she realized this was worth it. But she said she took day at a time, and small steps lead to a bigger picture. So with you, she gotta say you gotta understand two things. You gonna let fear run you, or you gonna let fear drive you. And I was like, oh, okay. And she said, let fear drive you, because the fear you have right now of the unknown will drive you to make it better for the future. So I was like, oh, man, that's good. So kiss and everything, and I said, that's a nice little kiss scene. And it was like, can you stay with me tonight? So they stayed the night. And Darla called him. I said, listen, Darla, all right, I like you, girl, but you can't be calling him late, just late at night. I don't know how late it was, but I said that's look like it was very late. It looked like a booty call, and you can't be calling him this late. He's in the bed with his girl. If it's not about Blue, why are you calling him? So she called him. She said, "Love Angel," and she looked like she was crying. And I said, "Oh, daughter, you losing it, girl. You losing it." I said, "But I'm not gonna put daughter slack." But I would say I didn't like you calling him that late. So they did talk about Blue a little bit. I said, "Okay." They talk about their son. And that was that. I said, okay, cool. So at the end, Charlie was in the house, or before, she went to the mill and she was sleeping and she was crying a little bit, all that stuff. She taking pictures, and then Sam tell her that she had nothing to do with it, but she don't believe him, so get out her face. And also, Sam came to Vi because he said, you got something to be doing that. He said, I never do that. He said, okay, okay. He said, well, you need to find out who did this and put a leash on this person who done it. And he said, I'm gonna try to do it. She said, try, it's not gonna happen. You better do it. And she needs to call that favor. So that's the favor that she wants. She wanted him to find out who did this to all of them, to all the chain of fence. And he said, Charlie won't believe you, but you try your best. So at the end, Charlie was sitting down, and she get some wine, and Romero somebody was knocking on the door. And Romero got a newspaper. Apparently, the freaking story of her and the migrant workers that Charlie was behind the migrant workers, had them continue working in the storm and had them killed. She was behind it. Remember, he mentioned that, and she was so uneasy about that, and Charlie was behind that. So he came. He said, "Is this true? The migrant workers is like that. While I was talking to you, didn't say anything to me." And she said she was embarrassed, all that stuff, and she just couldn't deal with that because it was a lot going on in the past, and I'm sorry about how it happened now, and I'm sorry about this now. He said, that's all you gotta say. Yes, you lost your meals and you lost your fire or something like that, but these people lost their lives, and that's all you could say. And he said, is it true? And I saw, she said, yeah, it is. Guess it is. And he was so upset and walked away. I said, oh my gosh, we had just had a time when Charlie was starting getting good with somebody new, and now this could break their relationship. Honestly, I don't know. Hope Romero calm down, come to senses, and be at the Charlie side. Cause we need some happy ending. We need some happiness for each one of these characters. And the last thing I want to say that Vi was praying for our family, and she also prayed God to protect Nova and make sure she's okay. I said, oh, even though she said she can't physically be there for Nova and can't stand her right now, but she still don't want no harms in Nova's way, and protect her and see how ever her ways cause all these problems. What it has. It caused a dominant effect. So since she put out this book, everything bad happening to each one part of her family. So that was Queen Sugar, y'all. It's really getting good. Tell me how y'all feel about this episode, and I'll see y'all next week. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and tell me how y'all feel. And talk to y'all later, alright? Peace.